Hello everyone, my name is Tiisetso Mashifane Noni. I'm a South African playwright, theatre director, choreographer, dancer, actress, and producer. I'm best known for the stage play Sainthood, which I wrote, directed, produced, and choreographed to much critical acclaim. And I will be speaking to you today about the writing process. So in terms of the writing process, I like to recognize for myself that I'm going to start off with something small and then make it something bigger. Right? So that makes it easier for me to consume and not get overwhelmed by the end product that I'm trying to achieve. So I write about things that fascinate me. And I use the word fascinate on purpose because fascinate alludes to the idea that I'm going to explore more. I'm going to try and find out more information. I'm going to read. I'm going to listen to music. I'm going to watch interviews. I'm going to conduct interviews, that kind of thing. So that's where I start off in terms of the writing process. Now, in order for me to gather all this information, I need a place to put it in. So I have a notebook. I designate a notebook to whatever I'm writing, whether it's a stage play or a poem or a song or a screenplay, whatever it may be, I always have a notebook that's exclusively just for me to understand. So I can write down any scribbles, anything that I think is fantastic, anything that I think is not fantastic. It doesn't have to make sense at the time, but because I put it in there, it will make sense at some point in time. The biggest thing is, right, the first step in terms of anything is to start. So start. Now, in terms of style and genre, I'm going to break it down this way. Genre is something that has somewhat been set in stone, right? A genre is you write in fiction, non-fiction, you write in horror, comedy, tragedy, you write in terms of hip hop, you write in terms of contemporary R&B, you write in terms of synthetic pop and rock. There's always these genres that seem to be set. But in terms of style, right? Style is subjective. Style is subjective. Style is your style, how you write things, how you do things. And that can be an amalgamation of different genres. Are you with me? So your style is an amalgamation of all these genres and then end up being your style. And I think that as a writer, you should not subscribe yourself to what you think your style will be, because style is something that evolves over time. You can't be in your early 20s and be like, this is my style and it's my style forever. It is not. It will evolve and will become something else, but it will still be your style at the end of the day. So sticking to a genre is usually just a formality, right? That people can then recognize from the get-go. It's like, oh, this thing is sad. It's tragedy, everyone. Oh, this thing is funny. It's comedy, everyone. It's a formality for people to recognize what the thing is for themselves. But I think for you, you shouldn't write from a perspective that I'm going to write in the genre of this. My style will be defined by this genre. I think just write the thing and people will impose things onto it for you. Now, in terms of writing a play in particular, this is just a note to that. I will speak to the idea of what the genre of tragedy and comedy will be. I think those are very interesting starting points to look at, because comedy and tragedy are on two different ends of the spectrum, right? But they have very, very clear definitions of how they must be written. For example, tragedy is defined by sustainability. What I mean by that, tragedy and sustainability, is how long can you sustain these emotions of melancholy, of sadness, of happiness, back to melancholy. How long can you sustain it for the audience to reach an emotional peak where they actually feel like this is a tragic thing? Whereas comedy, right? Comedy in terms of any writing style, comedy is defined by consistency / rhythm and timing, right? Comedy is one of those things where you can't elongate the thing. In tragedy, you can elongate, you can dwell on something, but comedy, you have to get to the point. You need to get to the punchline. You must set up the joke and then get to the punchline. You can't write it out longer than it needs to be. Because in comedy, the thing lands and it leaves. And that's what makes it so different from tragedy. So in terms of comedy, stand-up comedy, writing a comedic play, writing a comedy album, because that's a thing, it's all about consistency, rhythm, and timing. Comedy is always about timing, the doom-ching, you know? My last note in terms of the writing process, besides having a notebook, writing down everything that you need to know, and it needs to be a physical notebook, not a digital one, because those things, yeah, you will lose your writing. and as well as doing the research that you need to do in terms of the topic or the thing that fascinates you, whether it's Googling or writing books or reading books, rather, or interrogating matters of your heart, right? You need to do that introspection, you need to do that homework. My last thing is you write the thing and you rewrite 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 the thing. I do not believe that writing is a process that is done in one go and you let it go. You need to do it multiple times. You need to rewrite it, edit it, rewrite it, edit it. The waste paper bin is your friend, because the first draft of anything is usually not the best one.